Well, hello there, I'm Peasant, and I am going to take on England 6 with Ocean. Obviously the first decision you're making is where you put your starting presence. I like to put it in with a town, because that means I've got a guaranteed place to build. So obviously you don't get to see this Explore card before you place your your first your first influence. Maybe against Prussia, I might be tempted to always put it in this top land here, but not against England. So yeah, first time we definitely want to be placing two presents like this. Because that's just seems to be the good thing to do. So we're gonna have a build in here. So that's kind of awkward. We don't really like that. Really a great deal we can do about it. But we can actually, Calling of the Deeps is definitely worthwhile here, because what it is actually going to allow us to do is defend in here next turn with a 4 defense from a Grasping Tide. So I am going to do that. So we're going to call Deeps in there. We're going to get some fear going in there. And this is going to... Blight is almost certainly going to go down there. That's just how it is. That's just, I don't make the rules. Just live by them. Push into the sea. Lots and lots of energy. And then we're going to drown a town. Yeah, this is a bit unfortunate. And maybe I actually should always be placing up here. I know that in this case, it's been particularly gratuitous. Okay, so this turn, this feels like just the right way to play this spirit. Always tempting to go the major early, but not good. You don't want that. And especially as we've got this land here that's got Blight in, I think Voracious Growth is our champ. Root Biters might be nice to pick up if it was on offer later on. It's not. So we place in here. Grasping Tide is going to defend this for us. And we're going to make a Sacred Site up here. This is my preferred location for Sacred Site, and it gives us access to this land down here with the Voracious Growth. So we're going to Grasping Tide in here. And then we've got some Wetland Ravaging. We've got 2 damage to retaliate with, and because they're England, they're not going to kill anything like that. Going to work. Okay, so we can now drown. So there's going to be a Ravage in here next turn, so I'm going to drown this one in here. And I should actually... No. I should actually do this. I should do this. That's just better. Right, and then we will remove this in here. So I could actually have killed the city there. That might have been good, but generally my experience is the coast is just fine. You don't have to worry about the coast, even against England. So we have a power growth choice here, and it's probably going to be a miner. Let's have a quick look. We've got a Ravage here. A miner power might sort this problem for us. Ravage here, this isn't a problem. We've got builds here and here. Yeah, I think nothing so urgent that we want to go for a major early. Steam Vents has great icons for us. It's got all 3 of these are ones we want. Jungle and Sand Defend at range 2. See, that is pretty good. That'll solve this problem next turn. Won't solve this problem. Gift of Constancy is that for some reason I never really fit this in with this spirit, so I'm just going to skip that. Actually, Drift to Slumber is going to be good, especially as there are 2 Dahan in there, so that'll be a nice one for next turn. And that'll be probably one that we use once and then we forget about it. So we have this Ravage here. We have Voracious Growth, which we could use to remove this Blight. So we're not going to want to remove our Sacred Site here. We will move that instead. And there's going to be a build in here. So we're up to 3 plays, so we can now eat cities if we go for blue and mountainous icons. But we want to prevent this. So we could move that Blight, or we could eat a city. And I'm getting more and more inclined to just leave the coast till later. The more I play with this spirit, the less inclined I am to actually really prioritize it. We are definitely going to want to eat at least a town. But actually as long as we've got a single mountain. So maybe it's Tidal Boon. It's going to give us some energy. Okay, so we're Grasping Tide in here for this Ravage. And then we can remove... So, we can actually just prevent... Well, we can't prevent that build because we're against England. Can't can't remove a town, so I'm gonna remove this just because it's that bit further away from everything. We have a mountain ravage. So you see why I'm rocking around. I am actually on a boat at the moment. Not the obvious place to record YouTube videos, but the obvious person. So what have we got? Yeah, we're kind of, again, this often happens with this spirit, is you kind of end up with an overabundance of destruction on the coast. And we can push this somewhere. There's going to be a jungle. Let's push this fella in here, and then we can remove this right here. This is the kind of England candidate at the moment, as in it has the most buildings in it. So yeah, removing the blight there is definitely going to be nice. It's going to be hard to prevent builds there until I'm a bit later on in the game. Yeah, excess drowning capacity there. So obviously, don't really want to be reclaiming. It's almost always your weakest thing. We can drift down to Slumber here, which defends that land or this land. Actually, this one's slightly better because they will clear it out. So we're definitely playing this. Call to the Deeps is still good. Sort of the Land Dwellers is still good. Yeah, so now's a good opportunity to really push down these tracks. And I could even get up to 5 actions next turn. But I actually think I'm going to go with this one here, because the other thing you've got to bear in mind is you need to be pushing stuff onto the coast, as well as just gaining having raw amounts of presence down. So, and I'm going to go with gaining a miner. So obviously Moon Mountain Blue is great. Apparitions have got nice icons for our ability that generates fear. I mean, this is almost exclusively for the icons. But by getting a card with blue on, we will be losing my words here. By gaining an icon with blue, we'll actually be able to drown a city, because we'll then have the required icons to drown a city. So these are priority. I think I'm going to go with apparitions here, actually. So we're now going to be pushing into the land. So we could push it to here, which means we're hopefully going to be able to drown a city there this turn. And we're going to be able to play all of these because they're nice and cheap. Well, we've got loads of energy anyway, but they're still nice and cheap. And we should, yeah, there we go. We've got the city drowning ability. We've even got a nice amount of fear. Okay, so we can even gather some extra explorers. So, for example, we could gather into here before we call it the Deeps. Arguably, I mean, this guy would just double gather him. He's going to love that. So, okay, then we drift down Slumber over here, because that's when these guys counterattack, they will clear it out. And then we've got some fear. Okay, so good. We've got a fear card. Push up to 2 explorers from an inland land. Can we now? We can make this ravage a little bit less difficult to prevent, and we can push these guys somewhere. Push them in here, get them closer to the coast. So you have this weird little combo of Entrancing Apparitions and Call of the Deeps. I've not actually had that combo before. This is we get a slightly weird, slightly different effect because we've got so yeah, we'll just do some drowning because we've removed blight early, so the game is a little bit odd. We're gonna move this city as well. So we'll drown that city, sorry. And now we are left with no choice but to reclaim. So there's a ravage here, but our Grasping Tide will deal with that pretty nicely. But this is a problem here. What can I do about this with the cards in my hand? The answer is not a great deal. So this is major time, because this will build almost certainly, unless this is coastal lands on this explore card. So I need a major to deal with it. Drift down to Slumber might be the card that goes. Though actually it's still useful. So yeah, we'll see. See what we get. Okay, Winds of Rust and Atrophy is great. We don't have the Beast card to go with it, but it's great for Ocean because it's got this high range, and you're some of the way to these icons already with this spirit. In Swine Power, we've actually got an unusual amount of plant icons here. But I don't. I think it's a bit of a distraction from this urgent problem that could just lose us the game. Could just lose it just like that. So I'm going to go with Winds, Rust and Atrophy, and yeah, need to do something about this. Can't prevent this build. Yeah, so I think we are going to keep Drift down for now. Grasping Tide is nice, so we probably will get rid of one of these, the Apparitions or the Call. Tidal Boon, though, actually, we've already got to the point where we're pretty good at wrecking the coastline. Actually, no, let's get rid of Swallow the Land Dwellers. I don't have a clear favourite with this spirit as to what is the power card to get rid of. Not like I do with some other spirits. So maybe actually I hang on to Winds of Rust and Atrophy for now. This is going to probably boost up to 6 next turn. But I'm not sure if I can get the double effect. Obviously, it's that much more valuable. And for now, we can prevent this Blight Cascade, which I guess is a bit more important than. Oh yeah, sorry, we're not in a Ravage this turn. What am I talking about? We have Mountain Ravages. This is a problem that we can solve with this, so we will solve it with this. And then this needs to defend as well, so that leaves us with this. And we have 2 card plays left. Could even remove this Blight. It does feel pretty luxurious. Or we could kind of turn some Explorers into fuel. Would be nice to drown a city, but again, we kind of want to. We don't want to destroy stuff on the coast too quickly. We're not short on energy, so there's no real rush on that. We definitely want to make sure that we've already got a fig. So I am actually thinking maybe we don't try hard to get our Ocean Breaks the Shore ability so much. We Rust and Atrophy in here, we Tide in here. This we save for next turn. So I think I am going to remove another Blight. We are somehow still in a healthy island. Unusual for me. Or there's no Explorers there, so maybe an Entrancing Apparitions a little bit. Largely for the icons. There's a jungle build here, so there's no point in going for Tidal Boon with the idea of pushing into the ocean. Oh, I could push that guy. Whatever. I know what I mean. So we're going to do that in there. Going to do this in here and remove the city because obviously they're harder to get rid of. And then we can gather. We could potentially gather in. Yeah, I'm not sure what this is about. It is a Defend 2 card. Something I forget about this particular card. It doesn't matter. Let's play it somewhere and get some fear. Okay. Oh, that's nice as well. We're up to the second. We're up to the threshold on that. You can replace a town with that in a coastal land. In this case, I will. I wouldn't normally with this spirit, but okay. So we do have the sound. This is now up to 6. This is pretty serious. It's a serious thing I'm dealing with here. So we'll remove this Blight, and I need to make sure that I do something about this turn. I just realised I forced myself to reclaim. Either reclaim or YOLO, and YOLO is no friend of mine. Obviously, this could be the Coastal Lands card, but that's just a 50-50 chance of just losing. So I will reclaim here. And because we've got 7, there is part of me that wants to go for another major. We do have some superfluous cards here and lots of energy. And we do have stuff to do. If I can get a card that will give me the beast that I need to double this, then that's obviously great. So we defend in one of these and use Winds of Rust in here to deal with this problem. Though maybe I might draw a miner that will just drag a town out of there. That's also a possible thing that might happen. Or another defend, though not quite beefy enough. This one is pretty beefy. And it's fast blight removal. Can't resist a bit of fast blight removal. Defend 6, so I could defend in here, which is 3. It's not quite enough. Not enough. Not enough at all. This isn't enough either. Though that doesn't matter so much. We could just let that go. Nature's Resilience is so good that I feel like that's the thing to go for, regardless of any other considerations. Entrancing Apparitions actually is an additional defend too. So maybe that would take me up to 8, which is, well, it would take me up to 8. There's no maybes there. So 3, 7, 9. And useful icons for generating fear. So I think I will go Nature's Resilience. I've got to gather into the ocean, so I need to make sure I don't remove my sacred site. And so we resilience, we embrace in here, and we need to do something about this. The resilience also gets us the beast as well. That's something I didn't say. I'm gonna pretend that it was purely deliberate. So now we need a watery purple card. Ideal world. Pull the deeps, and what that'll do is it'll mean we get this twice, which is amazing. That means we can defend both of these. Whoa, actually, have we just massively overcommitted to defending? No, we need to remove one of these. We need to... No, we're good. This is fine. So... we can gather these fellas in here. And... gonna have to do Winds of Atrophy in here once, just to prevent the auto lose. I've realised I actually have to do it to a town rather than a city. So of course, that reduces the sum number of buildings, whereas otherwise it doesn't. So we can go like this in here. And I want to encourage this to be the bigger city rather than this. And we will do this in here and this in here. And we've got a little bit of fear going on. Damn it, no extra fear card, that's not great. So that's just a double build in there. Awful. So we will destroy a town and an explorer there. We do still have a healthy island though. This is a kind of unusual situation. We will place the extra build in here because it's adjacent to our sacred site. And there are lots more powerful, there are quite a lot of powerful effects that only work adjacent to a sacred site. And then we have a drown, a town ability, which again is not really being used, sad times. Okay, so we're not going to die instantly to a, well, to a whatever it's called. Is it called escalation effect? But we will, of course, die to this build. Because that will be the 7th building. So that again requires immediate attention. And I could reclaim Winds of Rust and Atrophy to deal with that. That's my only guaranteed way of dealing with it. And I don't like it. We're probably going to have to let the island take some damage this turn because, yeah, we're getting distracted. And this is going to be grim. I'm actually going to lose my land-based sacred site as well this turn. So it might be a reclaim, and we need a major, I think. Yeah, we need a major to kind of change things a little, shake things up a bit here. Terrifying Nightmares is great for us, as is Claim. Because what we can use this, we can push a load of towns, and then all of a sudden they're building London here and not in the interior. That's pretty good. And we're reasonably moony, so we should be able to get this bonus 4 fear, which is a hell of a lot of fear. Inimitable Claim is obviously we could be placing inside the island. It does solve a few problems, but they're problems that we should be solving anyway. This extra range makes it very worthwhile. Very, very worthwhile. I guess the trouble is if we push in here and then don't deal with this, then this is going to become London, and that's even more unpalatable. Okay, so we've got the Sand Ravage this turn, so we pretty want to keep Grasping Tide. Maybe Entrancing Apparitions is finally got to go. Okay, so we've got to gather this into the ocean. This never feels good. So ideally, wouldn't be no reclaim all this turn. So we need to make sure that we don't waste anything useful. So we can't. Oh, we can use nature's resilience in here, and we can use we can use grasping. Oh damn it, we can't defend in there. So I'm going to make sure that Winds of Rust, with the accompanying stuff it needs to be effective, are going to be here next turn. So it's going to need nature's resilience next turn. That's the one thing it definitely needs, and then it needs blue and purple. So Call of the Deeps is a good one to not use. Oh wow, drift down actually is relevant here. So we're gonna drift down. Gonna use, so that's actually defended. And we don't have any blight to remove. This is weird to have this much freedom from blight. There is going to be a town here, so we could Tidal Boon. We're not going to be very moony for the Terrifying Nightmares, so I kind of feel like that'd be a waste. We do want to, yeah, we definitely need to not lose here. So we could do this. We could push them into here and then murder a load of them. So the good way to do that would be with Tidal Boon, which would mean we'd be pushing one into the ocean and also just drowning one. Then next turn we could do these and we could double Rust to defend in these areas. Like this is going to be absolutely horrible. We are still a healthy island. Maybe we're too healthy. So the first thing is going to be pushing this light into here to prevent the insta-loss on the build phase. And we've got a Grasping Tide in here and Drift Down Slumber in there and a little bit of fear generation. Each player removes 2 explorers or a town from a land with huts. So these guys are going to die anyway. So I suppose we move that one. Each player may gather an explorer into a land with buildings or gather a tower into a land with cities. Well, if we gather this one across, then that's just kind of good. Because then we're going to be able to choose where London is. Actually, no, we're not, because it's going to be in here. And now we have the problem that this that this is a huge metropolis that is being built. So we've got a Tidal Boon, and we've got a Town Drown. So I guess we're just going to do it in here. It's because we're getting a little low on energy. A little bit lower on energy than we're used to being. Yeah, not for long though. Oh, ocean! Okay, so this is, if I can not reclaim here, that's obviously marvellous. We've got a jungle wetland build here, so this will take this up to a 6. And we've got a Ravage here. For this Ravage I think I just have to let go. But this one I can do something about, and obviously this is my only bit of presence on the land, so I want to make sure that nothing goes astray there. So I think I'm going to get probably play the 5th, and we've got 8 power cards in total. So we're going to be reclaiming next turn. It would be nice to have 10 power cards. Just don't really... I think we've actually got plenty of things that will be good to gain. Definitely got the icons we need for this, have we? Have we? No, we don't. We don't have the 3rd purple that we need. We need a purple bluer for this to go double. We actually need it to go double this turn. I mean, we could... Yeah, I think we definitely want to be gaining more cards. And weirdly, I think this is a good time for a miner. No. Major. We've got loads of energy. Okay, Cleansing Floods is pretty nice. This is actually quite a low-key turn. I mean, the island might blight, but that's not that big a deal. It's not a big deal. Obviously, if we can get the bonus on Winds and Rust, that's nice, but we don't have... There's none of these are purple. Infinite Vitality is not that relevant right now. Cleansing Floods is actually pretty good. I think that's almost certainly what we go for. None of these lands have blight in them, but this one will have very soon, so I think that's what I go for. And can I actually get all the blue I need to... Yes, I can. So there's blue on there, blue on there, blue on there, and on itself. So that's good. Nature's Resilience I'm hanging on to because it's amazing. It's just great. So we will lose one of these cards here. We want to keep our moon cards because we've got the Terrifying Nightmares kicker, so I'm going to get rid of Drift Down into Slumber, which has actually been surprisingly useful. Good lad, you've done really, really well. Stick one in there, and there's going to be a build in here this turn. But let's just put one in. Let's just put one in. Okay, so I think we can play all of these. We're not going to get the double on Winds of Rust, but yeah, can we actually defend in here? So that's 6, 8, 9. We can call the Deep Sit down to 7. And yeah, so I can drag a couple of these explorers into the ocean. So I think this is good. And we're going to let this blight anyway. But maybe I don't need Voracious Growth and Cleansing Floods. So actually, I probably will need it just for the blue icon to get the kicker on Cleansing Floods. Okay. And then Nature's Resilience I can use to remove another blight. But I don't think there's going to be another blight. But what it will allow is destroying a town. So I am going to just go with everything there. Okay, so we have this Ravage that we're letting go. We have this. So we're going to Call of the Deeps. I'm going to take these two guys and eat them. And then we are going to sort of Rust and Atrophy. Yeah. So we're going to downgrade a city to town in this case. And so this is 6. Oh, actually, we are going to have to Nature's Resilience in here as well to keep the island healthy. So they don't build in lands with more huts. And then Wetland Ravage, so Blight goes down there. We still have a healthy island, and that's not usually how it goes with me in Ocean. We've got a filthy island. Okay, so we've got 14 damage. So that'll kill 3 cities even, and then a little bit of change. We could even make it up to 16 damage with this Voracious Growth as well. This is going to remove the blight anyway. So 14 up to 16. So yeah, pretty good. So yeah, 12 damage is going to be these cities. And then we've got 2 damage left, which is going to be almost the town. And then we can Voracious Growth in here to finish off the town. And Explorer. So that's quite a lot of destruction. And then we've got some Ocean Breaking on the shore for a town. This is a problem, and I need to do something about it. But for now, maybe this is going to be Ravage build in here next turn. That's pretty awful. Boy, I'd love something that will prevent... Yeah, I am just going to be a bit of a chicken in there. I'd love something that could just prevent the Ravage there. It's possible. Might be a time to try and get another major. This is obviously a reclaim turn, so I've got nothing. It's not with this spirit, it's obvious. Obviously some spirits you don't necessarily want to... You might be in a situation where you do want to play even though you've got no cards. So what's this? This is 6, 8, 10 attack. That's actually not too bad. Except it's going to be a build first. So they're going to build a town, so it's going up to 12. So it needs to be 12 defense in there. This we could just let go. This, yeah, this is a problem point of view of just losing. So we have a game. We've got expensive stuff that we want to use anyway. We can, of course, shift these into here with the Terrifying Nightmares and gain a load of fear. Fear is our most likely way of winning. Oh yeah, we're very near to that next fear card, so I think we want to have a very moony turn this turn. Can we actually defend this just being very moony? I suppose we could stick some resilience in. It's a shame to use resilience and not Wings of Rust. I think if we are going to gain a power, it's going to be a minor here. We're actually a bit broke. Quicken the Earth struggles. Defend 10. Well, that just solves that problem, doesn't it? That's pretty unusual. This is unusual for this to be something you want with this spirit. Given its kind of odd icons and the range 0 thing. But actually, that solves another way. That I'd be spending 1 card and 1 energy to solve a problem that's otherwise going to be tricky for me. I think that's what I'm going to go for in this situation. And then maybe try and spend the rest of the turn focusing on this Cleansing Flood. I've got to gather in, so I've got to remember to gather from here, not here, because we need that sacred site. And so there we go, we're quickening on our struggles. And then we can Cleansing Floods in here. Yeah, so we shouldn't lose to any sudden builds. We're not playing with events, so no nasties there. And obviously what we really want is, yeah, we're just going to smash this with Cleansing Flood. So everything else has to have blue on if it can. So this is a good one to have. Tidal Boon would be good because I am a little low on energy. And we are letting a whole load of places go this turn, so maybe Voracious Growth would be nice. We can smash in here, remove the blight, smash in here, remove the blight. I think that's good. We've got loads of blight sat in the ocean as well, so we're not too worried about the having to remove presence. That looks good. So we're quickening in here. Going to defend 10. Going to Call of the Deeps. Let's drag this guy who's out on their own. And we're going to pound some ships to splinters. And we're up to... That's good. And 9 in all coastal lands, crikey. We'll defend. Each player chooses a different land with huts. Invaders take 2 damage per hut there. Oh, that's pretty good. Thanks. Thanks for your cards. So, our end is now blighted, but that's this feels like very late in the game for that to be what's happening. Okay, yeah, so we definitely have to slap this turn. So yeah, that's what we'll do. So 14 damage is going to kill all those cities. Again, hitting the cities because that's where the real fear is. Two more damage, but we do have this Voracious Growth that we can use. So we can kill another town as well if we use this too. Although, do I just get rid of the Blight? Actually, I think we're doing alright for Blight, you know. I think we're doing okay. What have we got next turn? Sand and Wetland Ravage. Sand, Wetland Ravage. See, if I remove this Blight, then we can just ignore. I think I will. Probably should undo that there, but it's fine. It's fine. So we'll Tidal Boon on ourselves, and we'll push a town into the sea. And we can drown a city. It's lucky. Lucky we can. It's quite important to have for our energy needs. So, okay, we have a Ravage here. We should... Oh yeah, we're missing... What are we missing? We need another purple and another blue. So if we go down this track, we will get the other water that we need, but we won't get the blue that we need. And I think we do want to be pushing out rather than doing this, because we're going to want to be in here for possibly some builds. So I think it's going to be this, and I think it's going to be a miner, which it seems odd being this far into the game going a miner, but that's how it is. Although it looks like we've got lots of energy. Ooh, reaching grasp, solver of problems. But if we get a moon card, we're actually going to be on to get the kicker on Terrifying Nightmares, which is pretty worthwhile. I think that's actually more of a priority even than having the extra range here. Because we can always be pushing with our Terrifying Nightmares, these things that are in the inland. So I think it is actually going to be Shadows of the Burning Forest. It's also quite good from a point of view of fear. So yeah, quite a situational pick. I really like Rain of Blood as well, but I like it a lot. So we're going to push into here, and we're going to place into... Yeah, are we actually defending this? We do have Nature's Resilience. We are defending it, apparently. And Grasping Tide, okay. Okay, yes. So it's 3, 7, 9 damage in there. Okay, so... Oh yeah, I didn't actually consider Winds of Rust and Atrophy in that decision. Got too carried away by Terrifying Nightmares. I don't think... If I'd... Actually, no, let's just quickly go back. So... Oh yeah, Winds of Rust, Rain of Blood is pretty good. Getting the double Winds of Rust and Atrophy would also be pretty good. Because it's gaining us fear as well. And it's got the range. Yeah, I think actually we do go with Rain of Blood. It's marginal, but yeah, I think that's right. Okay, so we'll push into there, and then the Winds of Rust, Rain of Blood. I think, do we even play this without its kicker? We're going to be defending in here, so that's a 3, 7, 9. So Winds of Rust actually isn't quite enough to deal with that on its own. And then here, that is enough for Winds to deal with. Oh no, it's not. Not quite. Damn it. Do you have Resilience as well? I mean, we could... I feel like this is a waste of energy, and we're rapidly running out of energy. None of this stuff is really going to gain me any energy either. So yeah, not going to play that last one. Oh, I didn't even gain the threshold on that. Oh my lord. Okay, let's just... I have to edit all this out. Terrible. Terrible business. So yeah, we will go with this. Okay, so now we are going to go with our moon plan. Operation Moon Plan. Because we have got so much we're just doing pretty well with the old blight. And I've forgotten how to talk. Never mind. No content creator needs to really needs to know how to talk. Okay, so we're going to Grasping Tide in here for this Ravage. We are going to Nature's Resilience somewhere. We've got Push as well. So I could push these guys into here. The main reason for doing this is just for the fear, if anything. And we can push people onto the coast as well, so that I've got to be really careful here. If I push all these guys into here, that'll be 3, 4, 5, and then this build to put them up to 6. So I'd need to make sure I did something about that. But what I can do is in the slow phase, I can push them into the ocean. We should really be cranking through the fear now. And then we've got Nature's Resilience, which is not going to be enough actually to defend, I realise now. So it's probably a waste of an energy. We might, we do have 3 fear cards at level 3. We might get a useful result in there. Got to destroy something. We've got loads in the ocean. And so I can remove up to 2 health invaders per person there. Well, I guess... doesn't really make much odds. I suppose this one might be better. Might be better. Okay, each player removes a town or an explorer from any land. So let's work on this one. There's a chance. Oops! No! Damn it! Oh well, never mind. Each player chooses a different land. It chooses lands. Gather up to 2 Dahan, then 1 damage per Dahan present. Oh well, this is a good candidate. And 2 damage, unfortunately, isn't enough to... But actually, that's solved that problem, apart from there is a build before the Ravage, which is absolutely brutal. Oof. Disgusting. Okay, our island's looking a little bit less healthy now. Part of me feels relieved. So, North Range, Mountain or Jungle. Oh, I hadn't noticed the build Ravage on here. That's a bit disgusting. And we've won! So there you go. Probably more on reflex than on intellect there, but win's a win. So thanks for joining me. Just cleaning up last bit. Yeah, and that's how you win with Ocean against England. Obviously, Ocean has a lot of advantages against England. A lot of its abilities they focus on the fact it's a city or a town, so their health increase doesn't matter. And they just have the raw damage to really kind of make the win happen. So thanks for being here. I'm Peasant, and catch you next time.